What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Cali. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. Another update on Kawhi Leonard. Definitely, inflammation in his knee has, kind of went down. The soreness has kind of went away, based upon what the sources are telling me. And, reading some articles and things like that, the inflammation was never really that big of a thing anyway. It's like I said in my last video last week. You can definitely check that out. But it's definitely something that they're definitely monitoring because, of course, when, Kawhi is not right, definitely the whole thing is not going to be right if he's not there. So, they definitely want to make sure he's in the right space, mentally and physically. And that's definitely where they need to go. But in saying that, I feel like, these last few games, they kind of rested him because they knew more so the back-to-back Phoenix games are going to be huge for the Clippers because those two, like hypothetically, if the Clippers, if, he comes back tomorrow against the Phoenix Suns, I think this 10 o'clock game, 10 o'clock tomorrow night, they got to play the Phoenix Suns like twice, I think, this week. So, those two games right there are going to mean a lot for the Clippers because they can basically just clinch a playoff spot if they beat Phoenix twice, I believe. So, basically, if they win back-to-back against Phoenix, that's basically a playoff clincher right there, especially if, I think the Pelicans or somebody like that loses or the Dallas Mavericks, which is very possible. So, with that being said, these two games are kind of like crucial for the Clippers. If they win both of these games against the Phoenix Suns, then let's say they clinch a playoff spot. Now they can kind of rest up a little bit more and know they're solidified in the playoffs, kind of, rest up more, get themselves going, and then see how the standings fall of who they're going to possibly play in the playoffs because we were so close to it. It's like right here, basically like right around the corner. So if you can beat, Phoenix twice and I think they only got like four more games, like two or three more games after that. So, if you beat Phoenix twice, that's pretty much going to, solidify where you are in the fourth seed. To me, I like I said, I believe between the Mavericks and the Pelicans and the Kings, they might maybe lose one more game apiece between all of them. So, that if that happens, definitely the Clippers can stay in the fourth seed. Even if they slide to the fifth seed, that's fine because the fifth seed is definitely going to play the fourth seed, whoever the fourth seed is. And that's just pretty much the way that goes. That's not like you go up a seed and you face like a third seed. They got that high. Of course, they would face the sixth seed, whoever got to that point. But if you're the fourth or fifth, you're pretty much going to face who you're going to face, whoever's in that little circumference right there. So, not really bad for the Clippers in regards to that because that's pretty much where they're going to be. But the main thing is, as I said before, you definitely want to, solidify a playoff spot. You don't want to be sitting here going all the way, have to play the rest of the season out when you could rest maybe 2 or 3 games more and, wait for the play-in tournament, see what happens there, and then go into battle in the playoffs. So, it's like the more rest the Clippers can get, the better because there are older players and they have, used a lot of energy. There's a lot of miles on their bodies, as far as their 4 Hall of Famers. So, definitely, these next couple games are going to be crucial. These next 2 games specifically is going to be crucial. And I think that it can really, make the Clippers a lot more, like I said, ready for the playoffs. Because like I said, if they can rest and then go into the playoffs, get the extra rest they need and then gear up and be ready, I think that's really going to benefit them a lot more instead of like going all the way down to the season like they did last year. They had to play every single game all the way down to the stretch just to get in to the, I believe it was the play-in tournament, I believe. No, it was the playoffs. He had to get into the playoffs, and it really took a lot of energy out of Kawhi, especially because, Paul George was out, last year, the last month of the season, so they had to put a lot of onus on Kawhi, and then what happened? He got hurt within the second or third game in the playoffs against the Phoenix Suns, and that's why I said you don't want to have to go that route and play every single game. If you can, sever maybe the last 2 games of the season and rest everybody, then let the play-in tournament happen, then that happens, and then the playoffs start after that. That's additional rest for your older players, and now that definitely makes them a lot more fresher when the time comes for them to get ready to go to war. Because I could tell you this much, going to these playoffs here, it's going to be tough. It really is. I believe the Clippers can do it because not only because they got Kawhi Leonard, but they got a really good team, just in general. They really do. They got 4 Hall of Famers, 3 definite Hall of Famers. Some people think Paul George is iffy, but I definitely think Paul George to make the Hall of Fame, my personal opinion. But, I say they got 4 Hall of Famers, but these playoffs are going to be tough because when you think about, like I said, the teams that's in front of them, it's a lot of physicality there, and it's a lot of teams that got, advantages over them in regards to size, the fast guard play, and these are the things that Clippers, struggle with, you know what I'm saying? Because if you think about the Kings, that would be a team, I think, that the matchup that would favor them. But, I mean, if they don't play with the right defense, you saw what De'Aaron Fox did to them a few weeks ago. You see what I'm saying? The fast guards bother the Clippers, and size in the paint can bother the Clippers if Zubac and their bigs don't show up the way they should and defend their ground and get the rebounds and get extra possessions and things of that nature. So when you think about that, the Timberwolves, the guard play, and then you got the bigs in the paint. I mean, it's like, and then, you still can't sleep on Denver, even though Denver is, kind of like, they're kind of like, they're not really hit or miss, but I mean, they started out pretty good after the All-Star break, and they're kind of like leveling out now, but I mean, they're still defending champions, so you got to give them credit. So it's like it could be tough, and then hypothetically, I'm saying, if the Lakers happen to get in or something like that, if they had to play them in a 7-game series, I definitely think the Clippers would beat them, but I definitely think it would be a tough one. It would go at least 6 games because, it's just a hometown rival. That's just the way it is. So, I mean, then they're another team with size, things like that, so it's like, the Clippers really got to, rest up and get themselves right because I think, their road to the finals is definitely not going to be easy. But I feel like they made their road to the finals a lot harder by, getting all the way to that 4th, 5th seed where they are now, rather than being the 1st or 3rd seed where they were. You see what I'm saying? So when you go down the 4th, 5th, 6th, when you're in that like area right there, that's kind of like treading towards the harder part because the 1st or the 3rd, you might get a more favorable matchup because you get a team from the play-in tournament that's probably not playing that well. Or if you're the 1st seed, you get a team in the 8th seed that's really not playing that well at all, probably. Maybe they might catch a little fire or something like that, but you might more or less have the advantage and more so the home court advantage in that situation. So I mean that makes it a lot easier too with the home court advantage. So I mean it's like the Clippers putting themselves in this position after the All-Star break is making the road a lot tougher for them. So the more rest they get, the more better, and hopefully Kawhi and everybody is healthy because this is the year we definitely want to see them take it to the next level.